Hello, how are we? It's a bit of a slow week, this one. I should really put some music on, to be fair. Kinda forgot to do that one. Might just leave it. How's everyone doing? But yeah, if you're new, feel free to like the stream, press the share button, get things moving. It is probably going to be a slow live. I may not be here for an hour. I may vacate after half an hour, depends on how things go. But hello and welcome if you're here. But yeah, the market is pretty dire, and we will talk about it. So the only bit of excitement, I say excitement, it's not the greatest exciting news because it's a rug pull, but if anyone has been looking at what has been happening over the last 48 hours or so, there was a coin and a launch called Bold. Crazy, I know. Base blockchain, whatever you want to know it as, fell as much as 90% as the liquidity got pushed away. Steady lads, deploy capital and all that malarkey. Some people did create a lot of monies. There was an interesting bit in the Learning Crypto Degen chat talking about it being a honeypot and some of the warning markers before this rug pull. And regardless, obviously, if something goes up 45 million gazillion %, it's going to do something, and usually that tends to happen when they rise very, 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 very quickly. So yeah, don't get stung by luxurious things, because this is the thing, right? Talking about it now to title the video. I'm looking to buy because the market's boring, but it depends what you buy, right? I know the market's boring, it's crap, and sometimes with a boring market, you are leading to the point of, oh, that influencer, that person, this gadget, whatever, is making money. I'm going to join in. I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy that. And sometimes it doesn't always lead to your expectations, and it kind of ruins the moment when you should be really sitting around waiting for good orders, or just dollar cost averaging normally, like most people do. So yeah, not great, not fun, not nice to watch, not nice to see. I hate it when things rug. It just makes it more of an obstacle for people to get in when they get excited and all of a sudden, boom, oh, that's died. Not good. Other news. This one I covered this morning on my Patreon because I did find it comical. The SEC asking Coinbase to halt trading. Oh my God, what? So imagine if this actually happened. Now I know Coinbase isn't like, it's not like Binance or whoever, but it's still like a big deal. If this happened, it would have absolutely went crazy, this market. Imagine if that did happen. Scary when you think about the fact that they asked it. So yeah, if they believe that everything is a security, not Bitcoin, and you should only be trading Bitcoin on their exchange, an American regulated exchange, which is what the SEC interpreted it as, is scary to think that that could have happened. And Coinbase have, I think, recently grown a backbone and stopped doing what the SEC want. I think people have realized that the SEC are kind of out of touch. Makes sense, really, in terms of what they've been saying, which is why Coinbase have been looking for new places to go and vacate to and open new partnerships with other countries and to create regulation clarity and framework with other nations and other whatever you want to know it as, because they want to do it, whereas America are like, nah, we're not interested. Kind of, it's daft really when you think about it. So yeah, all good fun. News. We talk about boring news. This is the worst news I've seen for a very long time. XRP to skyrocket to $500 within 7 months, predicts a Wells Fargo Treasury manager. Now, this person has very limited credibility, in my opinion. Certainly when you look on the world of LinkedIn, not many connections or global digital footprint. But the reasoning of this is just comical. And it's stuff that I've heard before. It's stuff that I've heard in previous videos and podcasts on TikTok and stuff like that ages ago. And you do laugh at some of the reasonings here that, drawing upon real world examples here, that if Ripple could only capture, keywords only, if Swift's 30% daily volume, which she approximates at $7 trillion, it would be worth 2.1 trillion daily value, which is 13.2 million messages. Somehow that correlates to a price of $500 billion. $500, sorry, which is going to be in the ballpark of trillions in terms of market capitalization. It just doesn't make sense. And this is what makes me laugh about people and their wild predictions and sentimental values and views. Yeah, it would be quite nice if XRP was a payment layer for a lot of situations, and it could very much happen. But to state that and to put that on record and to state that it could exceed daily transactions of, $8 trillion, yeah, I kind of see that not happening in 4 to 7 months' time, which is kind of the crux of it. Maybe in 50 years' time, who knows? But 7 months? Come on. And this is why we get stupid predictions like this and people just think it's going to happen and they invest at like levels when it's hyped up, and in a boring market as well when it's pumped. It's like, oh, we're ready. And then all of a sudden it doesn't happen. It's like, you get pretty bummed, really. So yeah, I know I'm waffling, but it winds me up. And the other final bit I want to cover is the fact that Curve Finance has again had a little bit of a security vulnerability. Annoying. Ethereum, Curve, they like to get stuff like this happening to them. It's probably, I think, the third or fourth time now this has happened to Curve, I believe. So yeah, it's an irritation. It happens. It's just one of those things. But yeah, so far asset outflows related to this security incident has related to, crossed to $41 million, which is not ideal. So yeah, as much as the market's boring, the hackers are having fun right now, and the rug pulls are happening, and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, if you're new, as I say, like said live stream, I will try and cover as much as I can. But another thing as well, which is also pretty important to know, is what was I going to say? I've forgotten now. Oh yeah, just like the live stream. I want to go through the market now anyways. But if you've got any questions, feel free to chuck them out at me. I don't mind answering them, providing they're not silly things like what did you have for breakfast. I imagine someone's probably going to ask me that one. But yeah, in terms of Bitcoin, it is absolutely boring. I mean, even over the course of the last week, it's been, what you could probably argue, 29,500 top of the range, 29,000 bottom of the range. You could probably argue, give or take around that point. Yeah, it's a bit shocking, really. Earnings season obviously happening. There is no more interest rate hikes coming. There will be CPI data next month. We've got Apple and Amazon earnings on Thursday. I'm trying to think what else happened in non-farm payroll on Friday. So we may get some volatility, but when we talk about the traditional markets, the VIX is on the floor, quite literally, so there's no volatility. The Nasdaq is still running away. The S&P 500 is still running away, while Bitcoin is just staying still. Even gold is trying to do something, and Bitcoin's like, nah, I'm not bothered, not interested. Couldn't care what's happening elsewhere. I'm just not bothered. So yeah, we've got the simple kind of lines of, it's very, very obvious to say, but the big push, slow pullback. And then are we going to go for another big push? So I forgot how long ago this move was. This was when I think it was BlackRock, and there was a lot of interest around ETFs and all that kind of good stuff. So, oh yeah, sweet, amazing. And then nothing else, like no more follow through. But it's exactly the same. Big push, slow pull. This was a bit faster. This was a big slow one, and then this is where we are right now. It just, the days just blend into weeks. It's like, it's horrendous. Even when you look at the half an hour time frame, it's like, wow, look at Bitcoin. So fun. So fun. Even actually Ethereum probably takes a mantle for the most boring market, considering it's an altcoin. Litecoin, halving in 5 days time? 4 or 5 days, halving. Nothing happening, literally nothing. And this is a 30-minute time frame, by the way. Like, Give us something. Nope. Absolutely thunder and lightning. Rain over here. No thunder and lightning, but I'm just saying it's like stormy rain, but no thunder. It's ridiculous. So yeah, not a lot really to talk about, I'm afraid. It's just one of those things right now. The low of the 3-year market, but I am looking to buy. I mentioned it in my title. This is kind of the time where I'm looking at buying now. If you don't know this, I'm currently looking to move house very soon. So I'm sitting on money. It's really annoying me. So I can't move much around at the minute, but I am looking to buy. I'm only looking to add to my existing bags. I'm not looking to buy more. I've mentioned in previous videos that I am looking to add more polka dot stuff eventually when I get my crowd loan money back. But I will see where to go with that one. That could be fun. So yeah, when we look at that as a factor, there's a lot of things that I want to buy, but not a lot is looking fair value for a lot of, like, for example, like there's no real, for me, I've already loaded up on Ethereum, not interested, right? Simple as that. DOT is an interesting one potentially. Seems to be pretty fair value. I'm not worried about buying under $6, put it that way. I think for most people, buying under $6 is still fair value. A lot of people are like going, it's going to go lower. May well go lower. Doesn't matter. I will still scoop it up, which is fine. When we're looking at like the dominance, we are still high. And don't get me wrong, this can still go much higher. But another thing that I'm still mindful of is the fact that this stable currency dominance is still here. Yes, we've had a bit of a double bottom here, but we're still okay. It's not bad. I would be more excited if it was up here, obviously, for better orders and stuff like that, and maybe a weird market. But right now, it doesn't seem to be kind of budging. We've got a strong Ethereum that's stuck. We've got Bitcoin that's kind of sitting, chilling out, and not bothered by anything that's hitting it, including Binance FUD, Tether FUD, whatever else is happening with the SEC. It's mental. So, yeah, it doesn't look like there's been worse places you can buy your coins, like the top. But hey ho. We'll see what has happened. I have no idea about Banker Protocol, to be fair, so I'm not quite sure. Yeah, maybe a shift from stocks into crypto might be a possibility. I mean, this is all I want in the markets, right? And I've said this a few times. I would love it if crypto moved like this, like, you know, very, very clear and obvious moves on the higher time frames, because this is the scariest thing. Like, this is the traditional market. It's like whenever I do a dividend video, it's like people are like, boring. And then people are like, how is it boring? Because this is actually like doing things. This is actually going up. This is trending. I know crypto is volatile, but it doesn't trend very often. It's like a small window where we get absolute manic bull trends where it goes up and then it goes down. Then there's this long bout of sideways, right? It's really irritating. Whereas with this, it's a very, very clear downtrend. And then obviously a nice deviation. But then it started to turn and it's like still roaring. Whereas in crypto, it's just totally chalk and cheese. It really is. It's a bit savage, really, when you look at the relationship between the S&P versus Bitcoin in terms of how it moves. It's like, oh, God, come on, give us something. Give us opportunities. Was there an alt season in the previous bear market? Yeah. Look, there was quite a few in the previous bear market, because if we're looking in 20, where are we at? So let's just talk about, so in terms of alt seasons, there's quite a few little ones. I mean, when you think about it, this is a 3-day time frame. Obviously, quite a lot of it was going up, but you had this period here where it was actually declining quite a bit, and very, very aggressively here as well. This was like a DeFi summer. This was a real big one. And even down at these points here, it was actually quite nice. But you got to think, these moves do kind of run, but it just depends what you're buying. Like, some things just don't move. Some things do. And then obviously we had the big bull cycle, which was pretty savage. But yeah, there was quite a few even on this time period here. It kind of moved down quite a bit. Doesn't look like much, but going from like 62% down to like 52% is quite big. Considering we've only moved up 10% from these lows to this where we are right now. So it kind of does matter. But yeah, there was a few. Wasn't loads, but it'd be nice if this continues going down to like maybe, I don't know, 45, 44. It'd be quite a nice area, wouldn't it? But very unlikely. Very, very, very unlikely. September bleeding, it could happen. I often say that from September to March is often the time period where crypto is more alive and more interesting. You often see more stuff, whereas when you look at summer times, it's, I mean, I know this is, hold on, this is the wrong chart really to be looking at. You know, when we look at the past, you often find summers, you know, apart from obviously that cycle was a bit crazy, but usually when you look at previous cycles, like the summertime, it gets a bit kind of mental or nothing. It depends on what cycle you're in. We're at a point of a lull where usually we follow the traditional markets where it's like, not much is happening, but it feels like everyone's away right now. It feels like there's no traffic, there's no interest, there's no information coming out that's really of significance in crypto. It's like, yeah, traditional markets are going up, we're doing nothing, we're not even following it. It's like, yeah. So yeah, it feels like we're kind of similar to like last year, where it's kind of like not a lot really happening, but enough to kind of get us interested and enough to kind of like carrot on a stick. Oh, ETF, BlackRock. Oh, SEC, removing pairs from Coinbase. Oh, but it's like all of a sudden something will happen. This is why I say to people, be kind of exposed to the market a little bit, just in case, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. It's like it's crap, but yeah, usually I prefer the winters than the summers personally. I think there's more that does happen, but that's just my thing. Am I loading up on Rose? Potentially, yes. Rose is probably the one that I've got definitely on my list. There's another one there. Oh, look at it. Just consolidation. Give me. That's the chart I look for. Like stuff like that where it's like, yes, please. Gib. Do I hold any RSR? Yes, I do. Still holding. I am probably going to look to accumulate some more as well. Crypto is like a scary movie. People love it for the tension and jump scares. A chill movie can be fun from time to time. Yeah. That's the thing. It's a different market. It's a totally different market. People forget that. And this is what annoys me when you get like macro experts from like the stock market coming in saying, oh, this is going to happen. But it never does, because they're looking at it the wrong way. The technical analysis doesn't work in the same way. The hype doesn't work the same way. The shit coins, the way they move, they don't work in the same way. Some stuff does, but not all of it. I wonder if this move is from 24k. Is the one? It's just one big. No, it's too long to be a deviation now. Deviations are quick and painful. This doesn't give me vibes of quick and painful. Don't get me wrong. There's a genuine element here that we could be hitting levels of resistance at this 50% mark, which we have hit multiple times, and we could continue and go lower. But we also need to get to the point where we're going to bounce off certain things. There's a lot of excitement in the market still. There's a lot of hopium that ETFs and stuff like that's going to happen, and it's going to get people interested in. We have bounced off significant key levels very aggressively in the past. So this one around 20k, this one around 25k. I'm not saying we're going to just bounce off it and tickle 35k, but a lot of people are looking at like, oh, we're going to go down to 15k. Oh, we're going to go down to 10k. It's like, okay, can we just get past 25k please first? And then we can start to evaluate, because people they just make massive bold signals. It's different when you're in a manging, gipping, horrible, ugly downtrend and it looks horrendous, but we're in an uptrend. So even though this is quite a horrendously slow uptrend, it is still an uptrend. So we've got to be somewhat careful of it. Alliance block's decent. I do like it, but I probably won't be buying it. What's it or Quavers? I can't eat either of those now, but I used to love Quavers. Tokenomics of Rose. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Paul Stephen XRP. To be fair, XRP isn't a bad buy. I would rather it be cheaper. Like, this level of accumulation was quite nice, and it's annoying because I was looking to do an inverse pair on it on Bybit. Just buy a little bit and just ride the leverage for a bit of fun, because it is quite stable. But that just went bang. Are we going to go back down to these sort of levels? Maybe, if it loses a bit of hype or if there's a little bit of a wobble in the market potentially. But yeah, I would, I don't know. I think holding XRP isn't a bad play, really, if you wanted something on the big cap side. People are getting desperate on CT, saying they made the amount of money on altcoins, seeming it's so easy, but they never show their trades. Oh, exactly. That's a great point, because there's nothing happening. Like, yes, obviously there's degen world coins where, like, look at Bold randomly. There is some coins, like Learning Crypto has a degen room, and don't get me wrong, people are making some money, but they're also losing money, right? It's nothing like you're going to get winning trades in a row or winning returns all the time. I'm a long-term investor, so I buy low, sell high. It's kind of pretty obvious. But there's a lot of people going, oh, I've made this. But a lot of it is just for clout. A lot of it is because they've got followers and they're trying to... It's like you see when people are like just making videos constantly. Like, there's so many YouTubers out there that are doing like 18 videos a week. It's like, how do you do that? Oh, it's because they need advert revenue probably. So stuff like that's huge, but I think you're right. Like, the total 3 and the total 2 charts have not moved. Like, in terms of genuine investable assets, like, no one's ever going to go into, like, I don't know, Bold or Hairy Coin or Foot Coin, whatever, like whatever random, or Pokemon meets dog coin, and expect to get rich off it. You shouldn't be. But people, like, yeah, some people get lucky, but what I found in the degen room on Learning Crypto, which is really, really good because we do have some kind of morals and expectations of what people should be looking at, some do well, some don't. It's just the way it is. It depends on how much luck you've also got on your side, which is absolutely savage, really. But yeah, it's not great. Long-term targets for Moonbeam. Oof, I'm not going to say publicly. I might wet myself. No, I'm joking. I don't know yet. Depends on whether they get Uniswap up and running, all that kind of good stuff. Will QE... oh, God. Will the QE, whenever happens... Could it trigger? Maybe. I don't think there's going to be QE for a while. I think we're going to be a while off that. I think Jerome Powell said it's not going to happen for a while, so I kind of go with what he says. Be nice if it did. I'm still bullish on Nia. I'm very bullish on Nia. I just don't speak about it much because I can't be bothered. I know that sounds bad to say, but I get so many questions about Nia on my YouTube videos. Like, oh, what do you think of Nia? Have you bought Nia yet? Can you do a video with price prediction on Nia? I'm literally like 4 weeks ago I did a video on Nia. I was like, come on guys, keep up. It's my 4th biggest holding. I'm very excited to buy more actually. That's when I mentioned before I'm looking to buy. Nia is top of the list because my dollar cost average on Nia, let me talk about this actually, probably quite a good thing. So I bought a decent chunk at 2 points. So the first big decent chunk that I bought, where is it? Give me information, please. So when we were free falling, right? I bought around here. I was like 150. I was like, get in, that'll do. Bought a decent chunk around November time when the whole world was ending with FTX, really. And then I bought some more, like kind of around this point, like $2-ish. So not the greatest of orders. And we've been floating around here for ages. So it's definitely on my list because I'm underwater a little bit. Should really look actually and tell you where the exact buy orders were. Bear with, I shall tell thee. But I am making quite a lot in staking rewards, so I'm pretty happy with what I've got. But the reality is, it's much lower. So I want it. So yes, my 4th biggest holding. What have I got? My average buy order is $1.58. So out of both of the orders, $1.58. My lowest was 140. I had 160 and 247. So yeah, it was around this point here. So when did I buy that? So yeah, the 23rd of February I bought. So right before the dump, which was annoying. The 2nd of February was another one that I bought. Somewhere, was it? No, that ignore that bit. That was the other order, a part of it. 23rd of January was another one as well that I bought, apparently. So I bought quite a few around this kind of trickle area, which is kind of annoying. But I have got some more elsewhere, much lower from this region, which is quite good. December time. But yeah, it's just like, ugh. So yeah, 158 is my average order. So I'm not down that much, but I did buy a lot more at these lower levels because I was like, wow, that's quite cheap. That's quite good. But obviously staking rewards as well in with that makes it pretty good. Being patient is the hardest thing to do. Yes, being patient is disgusting. It's the worst bit ever because everyone gets The worst thing about a market is everyone sees people's results from the past. So if you're new, you'll probably be looking at me thinking, oh, sweet, he's doing all right. But I've been around since 2016, so you're never going to see that kind of progression yourself as quickly. So it's all about getting in at the right time and building on it. And then obviously these patient parts is where you should be buying, but not everyone sees it as that. People like just get like, oh, as I said before, people just get shiny object syndrome. They see an influencer doing well on a coin and they want to just buy it, and it's like, ah. Sometimes it's better off just sitting, chilling, and relaxing in what you've got, really. I'm not going to do a video on staking because I've done plenty. I think I've done one recently on Learning Crypto channel, and there will be more on staking on the Learning Crypto. So if you want tutorials, go over there. What else have we got? I'm not interested in any of the new layer ones. I'm not bothered. I think we've got too many of them, in all fairness. How do you keep your bag numbers down? Great difficulty. It's hard, isn't it? It's one of the hardest things, because I think I had a list on Coinbase. No, not Coinbase. CoinMarketCap, sorry. And it's a decent list, don't get me wrong. It's like all the stuff that I kind of wanted to buy at whatever point. And I kind of narrowed it down from, I can't remember, it was like 25 down to whatever I've got now, about 8. But even then it's hard. But it's just ridiculous, really. It's not so much like the projects are good, it's sometimes the price points are good as well. You're thinking, wow, that'll be a good buy. But yeah, it's not fun. BNC, one of your big holdings? No, I've only got 1% risk in BNC, or maybe 2% actually. It's a low cap. Don't go mental on a low cap, guys. You'll destroy yourself. I prefer rows over most things in my portfolio. I prefer it over Nia, to be fair. So Nia, I like Nia a lot, but I like rows a lot too. What is your target on the dividend portfolio? Ooh. It's going to be a slow grower because the market isn't in the greatest place to kind of invest realistically. I think it's quite an inflated market right now, but at the same time though, a lot of my money is kind of locked away for the house move, so I'm not really putting anything in right now. And as I say, like, I want to buy solid dividend stocks, but obviously these are just tech stocks, so I'm looking to kind of use the ISA allocation to kind of make money low to high like normal. And then obviously most important thing is waiting for things to kind of cool off here, so maybe I get some nicer returns. But it's going to be a long time. It's going to be, hopefully, build it over a couple of years and see what we go with. I am limited with how much I can put in the ISA, but I can put more in another fund and then combine it together, which will be quite good. But it'll be a slow burner. Hopefully show off the compounding effect of dividends and value appreciation in a more stable climate, and hopefully works out all right. But no, I've wanted to build something transparent for a while, but I wanted to do it as an ISA properly, so I don't kill myself with taxation too, because there's no tax on that one, which is pretty good. $2K a month, splitting it. Well, yeah. The hardest bit is splitting it with so many projects. Try not to go too deep on certain ones though. Like, for example, if it's a low cap, don't go too heavy. If you've got too many of them as well in terms of sectors, essentially, like too many layer 1s, too many layer 2s, or too many metaverse, etc., just be careful. I'll be honest, I'm not really turned on by any gaming or NFT projects, or stuff like Gala just doesn't tickle my fancy. Has it changed? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm not too interested in this. I never have been. It's okay, don't get me wrong, but I've just responded on a tweet not so long ago how people perceive gaming on blockchains and stuff. It's quite funny because when I first joined cryptocurrency, like investing and like an absolute pleb, everyone was talking about gaming then. It was like, oh, gaming's going to be the one that's going to take off crypto. Was it? No. If anything, it's probably hindered it, in my opinion. I think I've said this before in previous videos. I think I would love it if there was an existing model that can just get implemented into gaming, like Ethereum. Very expensive though, but you get the idea. So like, imagine Fortnite, existing fan base, and you can make money playing Fortnite through cryptocurrency. Yeah, do it. But no, we decide to make really expensive, really stupid games and do massive crowd loans, and then all of a sudden they die because the developers don't keep up with it. Sucks. So it's kind of annoying. I don't think there's a recession coming anytime soon. I think it's going to happen in 2026, personally. But that's my thoughts. Where to invest profit when we liquidate bags or keep it in stables? Depends on you. Ethereum, lol. Yeah, it's not going to work, is it? Yeah, in terms of like where to put your money, it depends on you. Personally, I like to keep money in stables, but I also like to put money into fiat, but I like to do that separation first because getting your money back into crypto is often a pain in the ass, especially if you're in the banking system in the UK. Like me. Chaos. Absolute chaos. So yeah, you got to be somewhat careful with that. So don't go liquidate all of it and put it into your bank because it may well ask some weird, wonderful questions from your bank, and also getting it back into crypto might suck. So yeah, you got to be somewhat careful to that. Arrowway, is it Arrowway it's called? I don't think this one really tickles my fancy, to be fair. It's okay though, don't get me wrong, because the one thing about this is got all the supply out, which is always a good thing, what you want. But no, it's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, it's okay as a use case, like obviously, you know, storage and whatnot, but I'm not blown away by it. That's just me. It's not the sort of thing I would buy. Everyone's got different flavors and different taste buds regarding investing, but it's okay, don't get me wrong. Certainly could do some damage in terms of like a good run, because when we look at the past on this, I do remember it doing a massive run. I mean, that's ridiculous, by the way. So it kind of fits my blueprint of what I look for. So I did videos recently about like looking for coins like this, essentially well-developed coins, decent supply, had a nice little run. Where can it go? Even if this retraces back up to $40, $50, you're laughing, really. So it just depends on, again, how many you find, how many you want, and how many you can own. But it gets a bit congested, as we just talked about, because all of a sudden you see loads of them looking like that, and you're thinking, I want to buy that, I want to buy that, I want to buy that, I want to buy that. But you need to find what really kind of resonates with you. I personally don't like to go for stuff like that. UK interest rates will probably go higher because our inflation rate is still ridiculously high. How much money do you expect to come into crypto market? Oh God, it'll be ridiculous. If we're talking on the premise that the ETFs are going to get accepted at some point in the next 3 years, that alone will already be into the trillions. That will probably be 2 or 3 trillion alone. We got to think at the previous high of the previous market top. Where were we? Bear with me. We went to 3 trillion on the nose. So already you're saying that maybe 1.2 trillion. Can we go much higher? I mean, for us to even reach that point again, it got to be at 1.84 trillion to hit that point again. So probably double that. So I'd imagine maybe 3 to 4 trillion could come back into the market. So we may well hit probably about 4 trillion, 5 trillion, 6 trillion. That's my guesstimate. But again, when I do this and just zoom out and look at this period, there's a take profit level there, but there's also this level here, 6.667. Now I know for some people this will probably fly right over your head, but this is a huge take profit level for a lot of people if you're buying down there, because most of your bags would have done all right, but that doesn't mean take all your profit. That just means take some profit. Even at these points up here, you should be looking, you know what, I should probably pay myself at some point. Kind of makes sense. But this whole area up here is like mental zone, because you know what's going to happen. Everyone's going to come into the market. Everyone's going to go mental. The hype's going to get mental. It's going to go crazy. And then all of a sudden, as you're just sitting here looking at your charts thinking, wow, I've made a decent chunk of money on that asset, that asset, whatever it is. And then you got the new people that are like, you know, you go to work or you're in the pub or whatever, and it's like, you heard about this cryptocurrency? It's going mental. I want to buy into it. You should be going, okay, I should probably take some profit now. Certainly when it gets to these levels, obviously. Not if it's like down here, but if it's up here, you should be thinking to yourself, come on. Give your head a little bit of a wobble. So yeah, when you look at like levels up here, it's like, wow, where can it go? So yeah, I think between 4 and 6 trillion would be a beautiful area to be, considering where we are right now. Personally, hopefully, fingers crossed, that always happens, but we'll see. May never happen. Maybe a complete meme now. Bet you're annoyed you couldn't invest more into it. Not really. In all fairness, it's gonna come back down. I'm looking to put some decent chunk of money into the investment portfolio. I'm not gonna be sitting on £1,000 for a while, anyways. Maybe for a bit, but when my money's free, I can do it. Yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of it's a hard one with crypto when we think about taking granted of profits, because it is quite a luxurious market. It's a quick market, but you've got to kind of dumb it down into simple terms in terms of cycles and understanding that what you're buying is decent. This is why I say to people, try and stay away from the speculative mental craziness and try and buy solid ones, because even the solid ones may return a 10x. It's like, okay, 10 times my money, I can live with that in 2 years. It's a lot of money, that, especially if you're putting like a decent chunk in, or if you've got previous cycle profit, which is what a lot of people do have or have had in the past because you've been around for a while, or certain people. Yeah, it's just, but to some people, money makes money, right? And if you've got enough money to make money, and then you decide to put it in index funds, and all of a sudden you're making like a return of like 13-14% on the S&P 500 as an index fund, or certain trade funds, money grows. And this is how the rich get richer. It's kind of scary, really. Same with some nice portfolio management in crypto too. A lot of people say the same thing there with like, you fucked it up by like not taking profit. Like, one thing that I cocked up on, I took profit too early on like 2 or 3 assets. I was too eager, way too eager. It's like, wow, I've made loads of money. Okay, I'll just sell that. Oh, bugger. VeChain and Cardano were my 2 obvious examples there. It's like, wow, made like ridiculous amount of money. It's like, yeah, this is cool. I've turned like $500 into like 35 grand or whatever it was. And then I was thinking, if I just held on to that, I would have made 6 figures of $500. Fuck. Damn it. Never mind. I still made money. It's not too bad. But stuff like that, it kind of like sits in your brain thinking, I'll remember that. I'll put that in the pocket for next time, just in case. But yeah, this is why you need to set targets though. Because as much as like me saying, I took profit and made money, it could have like hit that point and went and died. But it obviously the other way went. So the trick is not to take all your profit in one. Just leave some in. Just gradually scale out, because it makes it much easier, much easier to manage. Or you just do what I do and just take profit too early sometimes. Not in everything though, luckily. But yeah, it's all good. Wow, 96%. Whoa. It's a lot to lose. You mentioned we shouldn't always expect projects to go to all-time high. With the money expected, this shouldn't be difficult. It depends on the project. Some projects will, some projects won't. It's like dominance. Like when you read dominance, right? And this is one of the biggest criticisms of it, and it's understandable, is not every BTC pair, for example, or Ethereum pair, or whatever pair you're looking at will do what you want it to do. So we may well find that this melts to the downside, right? At whatever point, and the altcoins are going crazy, but like maybe 2 or 3 of your altcoins may not be doing the exact same thing. So it happened in the previous cycle where look at EOS, for example. Big, massive asset back in the early days. Didn't do as well. Not DataDash is an influencer. Dash, sorry. Stuff like that where they did really well in previous cycles, but in the second cycle or third cycle that they had, they didn't do as well. So some things may run, some things may not. So in the previous cycle, Cardano ran. Obviously, this isn't the greatest chart in the world, but this was all the way up here at $1.40 or whatever it was, and then it melted all the way down here, then it ran again. Will it run again up to these levels? Maybe, but it may not. It just depends on the asset, which is the scariest thing. But that's investing though. Um, Good question regarding moving profit. So I've never had issues with draw. I think no one has, weirdly, no one has issues with drawing to banks. It's the other way around. It's usually going from your bank into crypto, which is the hard part. I personally do it in decent chunks, not small chunks. I do it like you. The biggest I've done was 60,000 in one hit, no issues at all. And I did that a couple of times. But normally I don't go too heavy. I don't like to, because I don't like having too much money in transit. I use Swissborg, which uses a third party anyways, and they use your name, so it never gets blocked going in or out, which is really handy. Whereas some it takes 3 days. It's like, ooh, I don't like that. So I hate having my money held up essentially. But usually going from from bank into crypto is a hard part. The other way around, not too bad really. Do I use No, I don't use Plutus. I've not used that in a very, very, very... Okay, it's shit, basically. It's a double taxer. It's pointless. You get tax putting money into it. You get taxed on when you spend it. It's, well, when you get the reward after spending. So it's kind of pointless. How much longer or do you plan staking? Depends on what price it goes to. So let's just say Near Protocol, staking that right now. If that goes to like, say, $10 or $12 or $13... I'll probably unstake part of it, because certain parts of staking protocols will have certain elements of lockup. So I think NIA is like 48 hours, give or take. Polkadot 28 days. Some is instant. Cardano, for example, instant. Ethereum depends on certain factors. So yeah, not all of it's instant, which is a shame. But if you're starting to make money and thinking I could release some of that, cool. So the best time to stake now, for obvious reasons. Funny question regarding banks. So I was with the Nationwide for a very long time, but I'm no longer with them. I've stopped using them, not due to crypto. It's actually something else that I'm no longer using them for. So now I use Monzo. Monzo. Get the words right. And I've also got Barclays as well, but I am planning to use just Monzo for my crypto stuff, my personal stuff. I've withdrew out of Swissborg into that, no bother at all. I've not gone the other way yet, but apparently they are the most crypto-friendly bank. Most of the time, the reason why people are getting declined for their banks or stuff like that is because of where you're going into. So, for example, Binance have red flags. They have fraud markers on them because they have not in the past conducted their own regulation elements with the FCA. So they will block, banks will block that. So that's most of the time. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So this is why you see headlines saying, oh, they're stopping it going into Binance, stuff like that. It's not because there's a problem. It's just because they don't want people to go to Binance because it could be classed as fraudulent. That's usually why. So yeah, I use Coinbase for learning crypto company, which has been fine. I use Swissborg for my own stuff in terms of just a normal gateway, because that's a third-party provider which uses your name as a bank account, so it kind of works very, very well. So it's like you are moving your money. Works. Personally, anyways. Move to Dubai. Right. I've got a 4-year-old kid that doesn't like fucking the sun. Don't think that'll work very well. Yeah, I agree on the banks that they don't mind that when you withdraw because they're going to get fees elsewhere, or if you're going to move your money into their savings accounts or whatever. RSR's got good developments going on. It's growing. Their token value locked is increasing. Their supply staking is increasing. They've got more coins now for staking, so it's not doing too bad. Does your bank... No, it's never queried any big transactions, never. Because the thing in the UK as well, now that they've increased the limits, to like you can spend 100k a day without any queries, which is crazy when you think about it, but I've never had anything going wrong. That's the thing. Like, in all the time that I've had crypto, I know like a lot of people get issues, but I've never had any issues going in or out, which is like when you think about the frequency and the volume and the time frame of when I've did it, so you would have thought when I was first starting out in like 2016, 2017, 2018, when it was probably the most wildest in terms of like that situation, like I thought I would have got flagged up loads, but I didn't. Like, okay, cool. Sold inject around €8 and put in the glimmer dot on near, but still think it was impulsive. Depends. Depends where injective goes. Injective's decent. This is another thing as well that people fall up on. It's like, yeah, we're always an advocate of like, oh, take profit. And obviously, yeah, like if you've bought something and it's in like a 5x in a bear market, you should probably take a little bit off the table just in case it drops, or you want to put it into other things and like rebalance your portfolio. But sometimes you may think, oh, because I did the exact same thing with Matic and Luna before Luna exploded. Like I was buying Luna at 30 cents, took profit at 90 cents, thinking I was a bit Billy Big Bollocks in like the bear cycle. Yeah, I won. It went up to $100, didn't it? Luckily, though, it kind of like it didn't really affect me too much. But you know, when you think about some of those decisions that I made a long time ago, you know, there's a lot of them. There's Matic's another great example. I was buying that in 2019, 2020. It was crazy. But I sold it very, very quickly. Oops. It happens. Yeah, check out Swissborg. There's a link in my Market Mobster link below. You get free tokens if you join via a referral link. Yes, all the Learning Crypto offers have ended. So I did a huge offer over the weekend to celebrate 5 years of being in crypto. Old school. So yeah, we had an annual one and a monthly one. There's currently a one going on at the minute. If you use 20 off for annual, you get 20% off. Or if you use summer, you get 50% off for your first 3 months. So there is still offers online, but not as crazy as what they were, because it was pretty crazy, that offer, to be fair. It was snapped up pretty quickly. I was like quite impressed with how quickly that one went, which was good. So yeah, there's a lot of new people learning right now. Bit of an active website. RSI back to all-time highs. I don't know. The supply has changed. The supply has changed quite a lot, so it may not happen. You've also got to be mindful of stuff like that too. I am looking to do more offers randomly, yes. We tend to do them in winter because it's like usually the company and corporation on Black Friday and stuff, but there's always going to be offers. Even like the 20% off for the first year is a massive offer, considering like when we think about the default price of £120 for a year, you're already saving 4 months if you go monthly, and then we're going to add another 20% off that. It's like £96 for a year. It's like, what? It's like, it's pretty much half price. It's a pretty decent offer, to be fair. You have a chance to win a holiday. Yeah, you do. Swissborg have done. Swissborg have changed, and they're not really an exchange, they're more of a wealth app. They're kind of like Plum and stuff like that in the UK, and Moneybox, where they're bringing out these thematics which are look really good. I want them to do it so we can build our own. That'd be awesome. So like kind of like a mini ETF kind of fund of like a mixture of assets that you can auto invest in. The gold one's got a lot of members in already. Looking pretty good. So yeah, we'll see how things go, how they do it. But yeah, it's pretty good. But I would probably say don't buy the token, because it's not really, like, for me the fees are not that bad, even if you're not a token holder. Yes, for some people like fees are everything, but you know, a good service is better than, you know, most things, to be fair. Like the fact that you get your money within like 25 seconds is ridiculous. Like literally it is. It's that quick. So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I would just look at the long-term benefits of the ability to put your money into the market without any headaches and getting it out very quickly. Swissborg are brilliant for that, because you can buy whatever tokens you want in terms of the top elements of it. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, you can do that very, very easily on there. Do the crazy offer again. I gave people enough warning. I literally hinted at a massive one. What did I do? Like the previous weekend, I was like, right, I'm going to do, if Learning Crypto did a 50% off the annual, would you go for it? I was like, that's a big clue. And then I think I mentioned it on the 2 of the videos I did last week, saying, Follow me on Twitter on Friday. I'm dropping a massive offer. It did well though, to be fair. Got quite a lot of members out of it. It's good to get some new blood. It's good to get people learning, because all the courses are now included with Premium. So it's all in. All in. Yeah, Swissborg's decent. It's simple. It's, to be honest with you, Swissborg is great for the new person, the new investor. Like, I often say to people, when, like, if I navigate people to Bybit, to buy and spot, it's like rabbit in headlights. It's flashing chart. It's crazy. It's mental. Same with like Binance, etc. Even Qcoin. It's like quite. When you think about it, Qcoin, I still trip over Qcoin quite a lot. There's too much going on. But yeah, I quite like Swissborg just for the simplicity. If I wanted to buy something very simple, I just use Swissborg. or move money over to Bybit from there. Off topic, who should be the second driver? I think Danny Rick, personally. He drives similar to Max. He drives in that kind of pointy-ish car, which is relatively suited more to him versus Perez. I think Perez is a great driver, but I don't think that car's mapped up to being what Perez likes, so it kind of becomes a little bit of a problem. But in all fairness, Max is on fire. Yeah, Bybit, that's not because of Bybit, that's because the UK are stopping a lot of the third-party usage on exchanges like Bybit. So they stopped it with Binance, they stopped it with Qcoin and Bybit as well. It's just the FCA are like not liking leverage. So OKX and other places are not offering leverage at the minute because the FCA are like, we don't want to give you leverage, UK peoples. So yeah, use Swissborg personally. Do you think you will do a lottery of loyal buyers to... It's something that we've been thinking about. But another thing, what we are doing is like little giveaways every now and again. So I've got a giveaway at the minute on my Twitter that 3 people can win 3 months membership. So there's plenty of stuff like that. Depends what the question is. Most people just ask questions anyways, to be fair. My phone was just ringing. God knows why. I've got a 15-second voicemail. How much? Random. Swissborg fees are alright. I personally don't think there's a problem with them. I think it's 1%, which isn't too bad. Considering people forget it's not an exchange, it is an on-ramp, off-ramp. It's like a wealth app, so you're not really doing an exchange like what you do on Binance or Bybit, etc. It's very, very different. So it's like Coinbase, but it's a lot cheaper than Coinbase. But, well, what I will say, they've now got multi-chain. So if you're using USDC, etc., you can use Polygon, you can use Avalanche. So it's a lot cheaper than using Ethereum. So they've made up for it in that sense. Oh yeah, oh dear. Yeah. That one is horrendous for fees. A lot of like third parties like that on like weird and wonderful exchanges are pretty disgusting. Like I remember a while ago testing one for like a cash withdrawal as well, and it took 5 days, and it was like 3.something% fees. I was like, what? I'm glad I tested that and to say never ever to recommend it. But yeah, I've used Swissborg on and off for like 2-3 years now, like for just withdrawals. Personally, nothing comes close. Nexo's another one that is quite good, but I don't trust Nexo. I think there's too much going on where that could implode. Offers 12% returns on your stablecoins. We know what happened to them models in the past. But no. Ooh, I appreciate the super chat. I wish it was $35,000. I'm joking. What is it? Morpheus network. Let's have a little look at it on Coin Market Cap first. I think I have heard of it, to be fair. The volume's a little bit low, to be fair. But a lot of like low cap coins are not great for volume right now, for obvious reasons. It's a bit dull. MNW, sorry. Qcoin. Yeah, it's not looking great, is it? However, this level here is probably pretty key for this one. So if anyone is looking to buy Morpheus Network, it's probably not a bad place to buy realistically, because that could be a little bounty point. Considering it was all the way up here at what, $2.45, now it's nearly at $1. However, there is lows of $47 and even lower at 20 or 30 cents, which was Lunar Crash vibes, June of 2022. Was that right? Oh no, that was May, wasn't it? So yeah, not a bad place to buy realistically, considering where it was. But no, I don't know much about it. The volume's a bit low though. I would be advised to not go market execution order on those because the volume is a bit flat. But it's not on many exchanges, to be fair. What is it? There's a big shipping container there. Blockchain powered supply chain. So it's like VeChain and Track. Cool. I've seen, yeah, Chainlink I've changed my mind on a little bit. I've often been the bearer of bad news when I say to people Chainlink isn't the most exciting thing you can hold, and it kind of has been plumbing for a long time, but finally they've got an upgrade which allows it to do all this kind of bollocks. It allows them to do a lot more stuff in terms of network communication. It has a revenue mechanism now. It's like, oh sweet, I'm still not going to buy it, but it's definitely nowhere near as bad as it was. Like when we think about it in terms of like the fundamentals of Chainlink, it's got plumbing for the entire market. It's one of those important things that most things plug into. It's great, but it never had that kind of element of revenue or utility for users to kind of get much out of. Now that's changed, and it's like, okay, let's see what Chainlink can do. So it'd be interesting to see if that actually does like change things and it actually goes higher in terms of the market. Because when we talk about Chainlink, when you look at the BTC pair, it's very apparent. Like in the whole bull cycle, the previous one that we were in, it was just melting versus BTC. It just wasn't going. And it just kept going. Well, you can still see it, still like kind of looking bad, where everything else was looking like this. But Chainlink had the biggest bull cycle in that previous bet. It was weird. It was like back to front. So odd. So yeah, it kind of had one of those periods where, yeah, previous bull cycle, where bear market, where it was horrendous in that kind of first situation that we kind of had like, oh my God, this is horrendous. And then all of a sudden it just melted. It's like, oh God. So yeah, it's all good fun. Social blockchain. Personally, I don't see how those will do very well, to be fair. I still think there's a lot of people that don't know much about this industry, this market, this crazy market that we live in. It still feels like most people know about Bitcoin or Ethereum, but most other people that do have an opinion are like, nah, I'm not interested. Nah, it's a scam. Nah, it's going to rob your money. Yeah, Chainlink was amazing buy in 2018. It was a great sell in 2020 as well. And then 2021 is like, no, don't touch it. Do you think LCX will be big? No idea, to be honest with you. Never heard of it. I don't know what exchange token's going to do well. I mean, as much as I wanted an exchange token, I've kind of went against it now because I'm kind of scared of the SEC just like being dickheads about it. Obviously, you got BNB, Qcoin, OKX. I don't know what else I'd go for really, other than those. Oh, well, OKB, sorry. But when you think about it in terms of like, well, yeah, Mantle is now the Binance one, but I wouldn't. It would depend on what they do because like BNB is different. It's like it's got its own chain, whereas like obviously Swissbar's got their own token, but it's very different. It doesn't work in the same way as what you think because it's busy. It will go up. It doesn't work like that. It's just an ERC20 token allowed for their staking rewards and their membership. Whereas BNB, as I say, it's got its own smart chain. It's like, cool, that's a bit different. So yeah. Volume in crypto is pretty shit at the minute. Yeah, it's not too bad. It feels like this market's much better than the previous market we were in. Pre-COVID, it was horrendous. It's like, oh my god, and then all of a sudden it went boom. So yeah. How many coins do I recommend holding at one time? I often say have core holdings of maybe BTC, Ethereum, and then probably no more than 7 altcoins because it's quite hard to get on top of. There's also no benefit for holding more than 15 stocks, and it's the same with crypto really. Don't hold, because of the volatility, it's a bit different with crypto. You also need to keep on top of it. You need to keep on top of the game of updates, etc., etc., because it gets pretty ugly if you've got like 20 coins and you're like, oh my god, what am I doing? Why is my portfolio free falling? It gets pretty awful. What time frame do you use for indicator? Usually 3-day, 4-day, 5-day, weekly, those kind of higher time frames. Anything over the daily I tend to use. But dominant I like to use a little bit longer. 3 days is usually quite a good one. Mate, CT isn't dead. It's quite busy. The previous, honestly, 2019, 2020 was horrendous. Like, the whole of 2019 and the start of 2020, there was hardly anyone around. There was about 15 YouTubers for crypto. I'm not even joking. There was only a couple of us. And then all of a sudden, it's just gone crazy because all the people that you see now are like new. Like, there was no such thing as Coin Bureau back then. Crypto Rover and people like that. There was only a couple of people. It wasn't many. And some of the ones that were there are no longer around now. So it's crazy. But yeah, for me, I think it's all right. This market's much better. Any hot narrative? None. We've had every narrative, I think. We just need to go around the circle again. DeFi is another narrative we could have again. Probably not, but I don't know. We've had the metaverse. We've had... What else have we had? NFT narrative. We've had the AI narrative. We've had the DEX narrative. All that kind of good stuff, really. We'll see what else we get. We've had an exchange narrative. Thing is, those monetization things for CT is a bit cack, really. 15 million impressions to get eligible for advert on your content is like, that's high. 15 million over 3 months. That's crazy high. Like, a lot of YouTubers don't even get that. Like, 15 million impressions is huge. So yeah, like I think I do about 1.5 million per month. And I've got like 30,000 followers on Twitter. And I get some decent engagement as well. Depending on what I tweet. Some I don't, but it's mental. If you watch my pinned video on this channel, once this live finishes, which is very soon, you can see what the difference between learning crypto and Patreon. They are very, very different. Very different. One's educational with a team, one's just me. Learning crypto, I take more of a backward seat, actually. A lot of the content's done by Gaz. Ordinal's narrative. Maybe. Good point. It's a good one. Not had that one yet. That's relatively new. I don't know what else we can have, really. We've had the bold one very, very quickly. I do like Degen's season, though. Degen's usually quite fun. Always good fun to see. But anyways, I'm going to shoot. I've been here for a good chunk. I've enjoyed the convo. It's filled an hour of my day. Hope it's filled your day as well. I do appreciate it. Thank you for turning out. And yeah, we're back next week probably for more Q&A and talking whatever. Hopefully something has happened by then. If not, we might be crying again because it might be pretty long week. Got Amazon earnings and Apple earnings on Thursday, so that could be interesting. See what happens.